bringing you the latest news from Coronado Athletics. This is the Mustang Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy Monday and welcome back to another week of the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 FM The Score. I am Randy Rosetta. We're going to jump right into the Mustang Fan Zone. I'm joined by Coronado coach Andrew Roy, and every time I refer to you, Demarion, I call you the Bulldozer. I don't know if they've given you a nickname in the Mustang locker room, but you are a bulldozer with a very strong transmission because you're also a fast dude. Demarion Finch, senior running back who seems like you've been around for forever. Yeah. Probably not long enough for coach's liking, but
yeah, I need another year with him.
There you go.
He's a 4-year starter, man. He's one of those kids that, you know, when I took this job, he was the first one that we said was our standard guy. And so I have that picture, and I got it. I'm about to get it framed and put in my office of him holding. He's the standard of what we want our organization to look like, and that's totally him.
Was Antonio Malone there when you joined? So that torch got passed.
That was my first year. That was Demarion's freshman year. He was his backup. So kind of the same guys, but a little different, man. I think Demarion has a little more juice than Antonio.
That's a pretty good back-to-back situation to have in the running back room. Demarion, you had we're going to talk about last week just very briefly, I promise. 42-12 loss to Monterey.
Yeah.
You guys fall to 1-5, 0-2 in district, but there's still plenty of work to do this season. So, like I said, we won't talk too much about it, but I thought you had a couple of the highlight plays. That catch, I want you to describe that one-handed catch, and then you're a bulldozer, so I can't say you ran out of a phone booth like some of those quick little scat backs do. You just ran through people. Like there was guys lined up to get you, and you just ran through them.
Yeah, that was just crazy play. Like we knew they were blitzing, so we knew the screen was gonna work good, but it's kind of messed up because he was on my back, so I was forced to make the one-handed catch. And then I'm coming down the sideline. I saw at the angle on the safety, just cut in, and just took off, and the rest was history.
Because you didn't really drag anybody. Like I said, there was some traffic, and all of a sudden you were on the other side of them, and that's when that speed kicked in. I think you might surprise people with your speed a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a little decisive. Just because I'm so big, short and stocky, it may not look like I'm moving that fast, but I'm moving pretty fast on the field.
Yeah. Coach and I will vouch for this. If you can be called short and stocky all your life, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Hey, if you can run like he can run, you can be short and stocky all you want.
Yeah.
So the long touchdown cut the score to 14-12.
Yeah.
And it looked like that game was going to just go back and forth. There was a lot of plays being made on the other side of the ball, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
Yeah.
Andrew, what kind of got haywire for you guys against them other than, and I loved what you said afterwards, that Monterey had some dudes who their three running backs made some plays against you.
Yeah, you know, they have some depth right there, and they use them well. 3 running backs, and we're trying to give the ball to Demarion every play, and they did a well job of coaching up their kids and getting them to go work, and they out executed us. That's all it is to it. And so we talked to our guys about that, and we missed some plays we know we could have hit, but we're going to be better.
Well, and you get a chance to get better, and you jump straight out of the frying pan right into the fire in District 2 5A Division I because you go from Monterey, which had to beat you to end their own losing streak.
Yeah.
Now you go face Abilene High, which we talked before the season. I think everybody in your district kind of pegged them as the team to beat in your district this year, and they've done nothing to dissuade any of us because they're off to a good start, 63-42 against Amarillo High the other night. I believe they are 4-2, and they've played a pretty grinder of a schedule.
You know, you
get
talk about Abilene High, and they set up their schedule kind of like we did. They wanted to set themselves up for a good year, and so they schedule some hard opponents in pre-district, Midland Legacy and Odessa Permian and people like that, and they're putting up points, man. They're a good football team, but they do have some flaws, and we feel like we can exploit some of those, and we still feel like we're a good football team. Like we're Jekyll and Hyde. Like yes. 1 week we're good, 1 week we're bad, 1 week we're good, and we're trying to find that even keel. And I know it's tough on the coaches. I know it's tough on kids, and that's just something we're dealing with right now.
But not just 1 week, but Tascosa, it was one half, and then the second half got away from you. So it's finding that consistency, and that's the challenge for all high school coaches and all high school players is to put those 4 quarters together. Demarion, how do you guys do that? Coaches can coach, but how do you as older guys make sure that you find a way to establish some consistency?
We just got to stop letting off the gas. Like sometimes, like Tascosa, we'll go in halftime up and think we already have the game won. And, we just got to finish. We got to keep executing. Like, we can always play a good first half, but it doesn't matter. If the game ended in the first half, we'd almost be undefeated, but it doesn't. So we got to keep it going. And, we just got to lead in there. Like, we need more players, leading players. Coach has been doing real good. But, we can lead each other at halftime, give each other the juice, and really keep it pumping. And I think that will help a lot.
Yeah, they kind of make you play those 4 quarters, don't they?
Yeah.
They don't give you much choice on that. A lot of games would be fun if you could decide to say, yeah, that's it. We'll take this one to the house. Yeah. But they don't let you do that. We're going to talk about some of the positives because there are. Even in 42-12, I thought there were some things that you guys can use to maybe become building blocks moving forward because you go to Abilene High, 7 p.m. Friday at Shotwell Stadium. Coach, you know how to find Shotwell Stadium, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. That's on 96.9. The Bowl pregame will be at, I believe, 6:45 p.m. That's a part of a busy schedule Friday on the Raymar Network. I'm going to run through that list before we hit our break real quick. Friendship is at home against Midland High. That's Double T 97.3 FM. Lubbock Cooper Pirates are at home right here on 100.7 The Score against Abilene Cooper, a team you guys know well. Liberty is at home against Perryton in their district opener on 93.1 Yes FM. Coronado, as I mentioned, 96.9 The Bull. And Monterey and Lubbock High play in the battle for the Silver Spurs, 93.7 The Eagle. We'll be back after the break on 100.7 The Score on the Mustang Fan Zone.
Bringing you the latest news from Coronado Athletics. This is the Mustang Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the Mustang Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. It's a Monday night. We'll be joined by Estacado after Coronado gets done here. The Matadors got a much-needed win last week, and Eric Ward will be in here to talk about it. I rattled through the radio schedule for this week, and I want to also – Idalou is off this week. That's why I didn't mention them. Coaches, do you like saying it's an off week or you're idle? I know you don't want to say you're idle.
I like the off week.
Okay.
We say bye, and, we still get to go and get some work in, but, yeah, it's a bye. Not an off week. We don't want to take off.
Right, and there's no idle.
No.
Demarion, there's no idle, is there? When you guys don't play, coaches are still working you, aren't they?
Yeah, of course. Always getting work in every week.
There's who was it that told me today? Oh, it was the Friendship guys told me that last week may have been the hardest week of practice they've had since the season began because they didn't have a game. So Coach Roboto was out there, especially the defensive guys.
I can imagine.
Wearing them out. So you can look forward to game weeks. I was a player. Game weeks are the thing. I mean, game nights are what you kind of aim for every week.
100%.
When there's not one, like I'm a Chiefs fan. Yesterday I was kind of wandering around not knowing what to do because the Chiefs play Monday night. So that continues on forever. Before I forget, also on Raymar Networks on Friday nights, Double T 97.3 FM, 10 p.m. to about midnight. You have the Friday Night Live Scoreboard Show. Guys and gals from all over the state letting you know what happened with your team and everybody else's team. And then Saturday mornings on Double T 97.3 FM, the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show with Mark Finkner and Nick Long, two legends of West Texas, guys who have been calling games for a while. So let's jump back in. We're going to talk about Abilene High and what the challenges are against them. Well, actually, I want to go back. I mentioned that there were some things that you guys did against Monterey that I thought could be building blocks. The first one was Dayton Cheek. That's the first time I've seen him kind of spread his wings and get going, he added a little bit more to your what you guys can do offensively.
Yeah, he's been out for a while, and having him and Zacavian Washington back really helps our team. And he came in and took a load off of they tried to double Dom, and that took some pressure off Dom, took some pressure off Finch. And so when we asked him to go be a playmaker, he stepped up and was a playmaker, because he got 7 in the box looking to stop Finch, this guy, every time.
Yep.
Like, that's tough, man. And then they're putting a safety and a corner or somebody else, a backer or a safety over Dom. We have to have that other guy that can go make plays, and he stepped up and did that.
And him and Dom make those catches, those what I call fearless catches.
Yeah.
They don't mind going over the middle and sticking their nose in, knowing they're about to get popped.
Yeah, they're coming across the middle, and they're going to catch the ball, and they're going to take what comes with it. And that's something you have to ask them as men, and not a lot of kids can do that.
No, it's an acquired ability.
Yeah.
You have to not. And this guy doesn't mind getting hit, because he delivers some.
He
of
likes to deliver it.
Here we go. And I thought Isaiah, even though you were playing from behind a little bit, Isaiah Vasquez still keeps throwing the ball, and he's making throws that, sitting from up high, at first you're going, where's he throwing? And then all of a sudden you see he knows what he's doing with the ball.
Yeah, he and you ask him, and he's his hardest critic. He'll tell you, he missed a couple, but he hit some good ones, man. And there was some that I was like, oh my goodness. And like you said, they turned out to be good, but there was those that he wanted to hit and just missed. And like I said, he's going to get better week to week.
He's got about 600 yards the last couple of games, so
yeah.
he's kind of figured that part of the offense out. Now if you can get that defense loosened up and go back to 25 or 30 carries for him. Now he's pretty well conditioned. You ready for 25 or 30 tonight?
Yeah, I've been ready.
Coach told us early in the year you were gonna get fed.
Finch understands. Even last year as a defensive coordinator, I was pushing to get him the rock, and that was out of my position, but I wanted that for him, and coming into this year, that's what we wanted to do. But everybody knows the talent that he is, and they're loading the box and they're bringing pressure, and so we're having to open it up for other people, and that's all due to him and what he can do. But you see the talent that he has. He's a total yards guy. Like, he's going to get the ball in the air, he's going to get the ball on the ground, and he's going to get his yards regardless.
He just needs one hand. He doesn't need both hands to catch the ball.
No helmet.
I called up. That's true. Now that you say that, earlier this year, he was running without a helmet on.
Yeah, he's a dude.
Calling up the stats on HubCPreps.com here. 629 yards through 6 games. So you're hanging up over 100 a game. That's what you want a running back to do at any level.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk more about the Mustangs taking on Abilene High when we come back on 100.7 The Score on the High School Fan Zone.
Bringing you the latest news from Coronado Athletics. This is the Mustang Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Mustang Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score FM. I'm Randy Rosetta. I'm with Andrew Roy, first-year Coronado coach, but been around the block for a few years, as has Demarion Finch, who, did you say, a 4-year starter?
Yeah, well, 4-year varsity, 3-year starter. Yeah,
because you had to get that torch past you from Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
You're a running back. Did you like watching Antonio run back then?
100%. Like, coming out of middle school, it was just crazy watching how good they could be, especially him. He was a real nice running back, and he taught me a lot of what I know now, and I'm just glad I had him there as a mentor, and just getting to watch him play was great.
So in the 8th grade then is when Sawyer Robertson and Charlie Robinson were seniors.
Yeah.
Those guys have gone on to do some pretty decent things, and then you got to play with John Curry.
Yeah.
And Jet Carroll. So you've been around some guys. You know what a successful team looks like and can be like.
Yeah.
What do you guys have to do to get headed in that direction now? You still got 3 or 4 district games?
4, yeah.
Still got 4. You still got some stuff you can get done here. What do you guys have to do to start heading down that path?
One is just our execution, You know, it could be more disciplined, but more importantly, is like some of the older guys stepping up as a leader is what I've recently, I've been told I have to do a lot, and I realize I have to be more of a leader to the offense, and just the team in general can help a lot. Because, you know, a lot of us are like real calm, cool, quiet guys. None of us really have been wanting to say anything, but I'm feeling like I'm planning to step into the real leader role and be more vocal. Obviously, we have Zakavian being vocal on defense, and all that's just a start to be something great. And we've been doing it way more. You know, we're becoming more disciplined. And I think things are looking up, but really it's just leading players.
And I think you've got to be a player that leads by example. Even if you are verbal, you lead by example. And watching you play, I would think, fires up your teammates.
Yeah.
Your linemen, your other offensive guys, they've got to get excited the way you run the ball.
Yeah, 100%.
And you guys have some dudes on offense, Andrew. We've talked about it. You mentioned Dom, Isaiah, Campbell Stanek's shown some flashes.
Yeah.
Dayton coming back. You guys have it. It's just a matter of getting that together and moving in the right direction.
It's there, man. We just have to get it consistent and get it going. Like Finch said, you know, we have these great guys like Demarion. He's a leader, like in the weight room. He shows people how to do it. On the field, he shows people how to do it. He's not very vocal, but when he says something, everybody listens.
I've heard somebody talking on the radio, the old E.F. Hutton commercials.
Yeah, and it's the same way with Isaiah. Isaiah doesn't say a lot. He goes out and he competes, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's on the field, whether it's whatever, and he doesn't say a lot, but when he says something, it means something. And we're just trying to get those guys to step up and say something a little more. And it's tough. This senior class, I told you a long time ago, this was a special group, and they still have a lot of football left.
Coach doesn't have any sharp objects over there, does he? Because I'm gonna ask him about defense here. Because again, you've got guys on that side of the ball, but for whatever reason, they're just missing right now.
Yeah.
Just not, especially, and you've mentioned it, I think every week you've been in here, you're struggling to stop the run in particular.
Yeah.
How do you make that, how do you fix that?
Well, that's what we looked at as coaches. Like, how do we look that good against Tascosa last week and then go into, you know, Monterey this week and look that way? But, you know, there's emotions involved. It was homecoming week, and
Yep.
I did not want this to be homecoming week because I knew it was going to be a lot of emotions involved. But we're just going out and doing stuff that is not characteristic of us, you know, and we're not wrapping up. We're just going out and throwing a shoulder. And we look totally different once we watch film, and we're just trying to figure it out, man. I think there was just a lot of emotions involved last week, and it went bad for us.
Every old coach you ever talk to will talk about you got to be able to block, you got to be able to tackle. And that sounds pretty easy, but if you can do both those things consistently well, you got a pretty good shot. And that's what I was watching you guys the other night. It kept hitting me. Guys are in position to make plays. Now you just got to do the other part of it. It's kind of like Demarion said about the first half and second half. You got half the job done. Now just punch the time clock and finish up.
That's it. Finish it. Finish the job, man. And so that's what we're going to work on for the next 4 games. Just go out and try to finish 4-4 and see if we can get in the playoffs and go make a run.
Well, and that first one, I'm not going to diminish anybody else, but that first one may be the toughest one, and you may as well start with the toughest one.
Might as well.
Go to Abilene High, which I've not looked at the rankings yet. I don't think they've crept back into the rankings, but Abilene High is a very good, legit Class 5A football team, and Coronado goes up there for a Friday night showdown, 7 p.m. at Shotwell Stadium, 96.9 The Bull, pregame at 6:45 p.m. That's been the Mustang Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.